Good morning, divine beings, stellar souls, the divine itself, herself, itself. There's no words that we could ever put on anything, quite frankly. What's best, I think, is just this intuition that centers in your heart. This beautiful heart of yours. I have a little something to say about that today. Actually, I always have something to say about that today. All right. And the fact that each of you would come on and bring that love in front of the world in these crazy times and offer up that love, that devotion, that goodness that each of you are. God is good. Good is God. And that you are here again today. Some of you just get off the Bhagavad Gita podcast that we had. Ellen, so great that know that you are here. It brings a not just a lot of relief from the grief, not just us here in this little rainbow tribe. Good morning, Tara. Thanks for jumping online to be with the divine and be with your divine friends. I was just, kind of warming us up for another delightful session where God gives to each of us uniquely and individually, and none else knows what we need to have as an understanding today. Something that would just make the day seem so right on. Good morning, Marty. Welcome.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for coming on. Yeah. So happy you're here, my dear. And I want to start by just taking our minds off of this world. As Yogananda says, when I no longer happy about this world, I go into the next. So you don't have to you don't have to kind of stay in this 3D HD heavy delusion, my dears. You have a choice. We have a choice to go into a higher frequency if we so desire, and that's one of the reasons why we are here, like we are here right now. So I'm going to start us off with this. Yogananda did a whole series on the inner worlds, the astral world, and this was part 10. So this is he did at least 10 parts of what happens in another reality. Let's put it that way. So if you ever get tired of this world, if you ever get fed up with this world, if you ever get scared in this world, if you ever feel like you're getting nowhere, you're spinning your wheels, or whatever, that is just, the spiritual stuff just doesn't work for you. We can go so funky so fast, isn't it true? It's just the time, my dears. And the collective, when you add the collective's consciousness onto your own, or your own onto collective consciousness, it gets really hairy. So this is our little, come to the soul depot station and fill up with what God has for you this morning, because I promise you, she, he, it has something that is just made for you, just fits you for today, just for today. However, your mind is so important that we kind of feel there's a blessing happening with our mind when we put our mind on our mind, that there's a blessing for our mind to be calm, our mind to be a beautiful mind, and we can use our mind to remember these beautiful truths about ourselves and to stay in this present moment, right? So we don't want to knock the mind as being that thing that makes us restless or gives us, erroneous information or untruths and this and that. No, we want to appreciate every little detail, every little detail. The fact that you're sitting here right now, that's a major detail. That's a major detail, my friends. Let me just get this little window thing out of the way. So, having said all that, Cami came on. Yay, Lori came on. Wonderful. I knew I had to take these things off my screen so I could see who's here. because I always light up. I always light up, my dear. It's the most incredible relationship for a period of time that I think I've been in, except for like in an ashram for 25 years and things like that, and at the Soul of Yoga for 25 years. But this has something so special to it. So I hope you feel that special every time you come, because it's here because you bring it, right? You completely bring it. But I want to just take us on a little journey into the inner worlds, because this is part 10 of the Astral World series by Paramahansa Yogananda. Just in case you might want to just take a little break from being human today and let your mind soar in the true reality, right? This is the dream duality delusion that we're in here. So if you want to get a taste or just a little inkling of what it's like in another reality, the real reality, here it is. It's called the nature of God. So Yogananda starts by saying, is God a hoary, Hoary? You don't hear that word much. Is God a hoary man sitting on a throne at some point in space, surrounded by winged harp-playing angels? Could be a concept. It might be better to think that than to be caught up in a negative thought. So, okay. He said that is a limited concept held by some dogmatist whose understanding cannot conceive the real nature of God as spirit. I said in the Gita just this morning that there was a quote from Ram Dass, and he said, we've been thousands of incarnations, and in each one just learning just a tad bit. Wow, it kind of put things in perspective for me, how special it is that this little tad bit of awakening in each one of those thousands of lifetimes, my dears, is makes this one kind of seem more important to me, right? Because a tad goes a long way when you think of the long time that it takes to wake up from this dream delusion and put all of our eggs in the same basket. Put all of our eggs in the basket of our heart and soul, and in our understanding of being with the divine. And the way that you go about life, my dears, in God's eyes is perfection. In your dog's eyes is perfection. Seriously, I know I mention dogs a lot, but what if every time you go and pet that dog, every time that you feel appreciative of your dog, that God is petting you at the same time? Not petting, but remembering you at the same time that you are so appreciating that animal of yours. Yeah. What if? What if that we realize, can you imagine the God's how excited he is to come up and greet you even though you don't know it, to put a hug on you even though you don't feel it? Do you realize how happy that makes the divine beloved? He must do it all the time to everyone at the same time. Yeah, we have so much that even though it may take a long time, in the valley of sorrow 1,000 years until tomorrow, says Yogananda, but I'll wait to see only you, my Lord. But one little acknowledgement to the divine that he's here, she's here with you right now, all the time, anytime, anywhere, can just be enough to fulfill the heart for now, fulfill your dreams for now. But in the meantime, we can dream big because we have such souls that help us to go to those higher places, so we can have a little um, relief. Yeah, a little relief. What do they call it in the AA program? A little can't think of the word right now. That you get a little relief from the grief. I like to say that. So this is a limited concept held by dogmatists who cannot conceive the real nature of God as spirit, the infinite absolute. That's it, There's an infinite absolute. Can you imagine, my dears, that you cannot die, that you live forever, that you're going to be in joy for forever? I mean, even a little splattering of joy today would turn our life around. One little taste of what divine love really is today would turn your life around. Just like that. So we have so much to look into and look forward to, meaning look into to know what is coming, that we have the patience to 1,000 years or till tomorrow. Lord, I'll wait to see only you, only you, only you. I'm going to keep on loving no matter what, even when I'm negative. Yep. So men and women without wisdom consider me. So this is Yogananda again. Consider me, and I think he's thinking in talking in terms that this is God talking, because there's quotes here. Men without wisdom, men and women without wisdom consider me, the unmanifest, as assuming embodiment, like a mortal being taking a form, not understanding my unsurpassable state, my unchangeable, unutterable nature. I, the unchanging, I, the everlasting, I, the sustainer, and one that permeates the entire cosmos. Get a load of this. I'm the everlasting sustainer and permeator of the entire cosmos with but one fragment of my being, Marty. Just one fragment. You know, no, really, if there's consciousness only, do you imagine the consciousness that we have that's guiding our lives right now, that's giving us breath to breathe, that's giving us love to consider and maybe merge with more today than ever, to give us a brain that still can remember some things. And maybe we have the ability to walk today, right? Maybe we have yet another great privilege to walk our babies today, huh? And let them sniff. Let them sniff. They say it's one of the best things so dogs don't get senioritis. Let them sniff. Let them sniff those bushes. It opens up all of their creativity, because it's a world in what they're sniffing, okay? So sometimes that's all we need. That's what we're doing right now. You can inhale with kind of sipping up the breath with your mouth closed like this. Hold it at the top. And just do a good sigh out, and know you just sip the fine wine of God's loving presence. Sip it up, and it out. But can you imagine that there's in the one who's behind the whole show, and then beyond that, which is unnameable, unclaimable, just ongoing eternity, right, of bliss and joy and happiness, that it's all happening in just one fragment of the Creator's being. What? So that quote about that fragment of my being, that's from the Bhagavad Gita, that I am the one that is sustaining and permeating the entire cosmos with just one little fragment of my being. Wow. So the invisible God, however, can also become visible. Can also become visible. Well, look at you and me. God is us. God in us. The invisible God, however, can also become visible. Saints who by samadhi meditation have gone into the astral heaven, higher than the ordinary astral world, where most souls go after death, tell us that God is not only formless, but that he takes form also. Now, come on. It's hard to think of something that is formless to take a form, the one that is that powerful. It's just a fragment. He keeps this whole world going on. right? We live in the thought of God. We live in the mind of God. We live in the heart of God. God lives in the heart of us, right? It's hard, it's hard to believe that there is such a, it's beyond sci-fi, my dears. This is soul-fi. It's soul-fi. It's hard to believe. Is that there? So now he's saying that the saints who by samadhi meditation have gone into the astral heaven, higher than the astral world where most souls go after death, tell us that God is not only formless, but that he takes form also. In fact, it is that one spirit who has become everything in this universe. One spirit. Think about it, Lori, that wherever you go today, there's spirit. Does that mean that it has to be a moving thing, a living thing? Or can it be a rock? Can it be a mountain? And the spirit is spirit. Spirit's in everything, the animate and the inanimate. Can you believe what a fairy tale you are living in, my dears? What a potentiality that you are living in. How precious is yet another incarnation that we have to gain a little, a tad of more awakening awareness, a little deeper devotion this time around, a little more loving, not only of the Lord, but of others and ourselves and even the bad guys, that it doesn't matter. Spirit is it all. It's all of it, my dears. And spirit becomes everything and is everything in this universe. Spirit is not only impersonal, absolute. He, she, it can also be very personal if you choose it. Lisa and Jim, if you want to choose God to be a personal one that has a form for you, you just ask and it shall manifest for you. Just ask. We don't ask because we're so convinced that we maybe don't have the power to do that. We don't ever think in these terms. That's why I thought this would be a good little breakaway from the pack of ordinary existence today. Just a little breakaway, my dears. Let's go with the leaders of this race today, the human race today, and break away from the pack. So spirit is not only an impersonal absolute, but can also be very personal, manifesting as the Heavenly Father or Divine Mother or in any deity form that his devotees want to see. Kathleen, Ellen, that means any form you want to see God as. So, but also, that's what I've been doing with my dogs when I walk them. I'm saying there's God walking. There's God walking in this little four-legger. So you play with it. You play with your abilities, your soul qualities. You play with God if you're in a playful mood, or you run to the Lord when you need a hug. I mean, like endless hugs. You know, you don't wait and see what happens in your life today. You create it, my dears. If you have this intuitive imagination, that seems to be what it must be like in those higher realms, right? That you could see any deity you wanted face to face. But God cannot be limited to a form. In spirit, God and all his angels are absolutely one. Wow. Just one. Man, that's like an easy test, right? We got tested on how we're doing with our life. And one of the questions we talked about, did you feel separate from things? Do you feel alone, lonely? Do you feel incomplete and everything? And then the ultimate answer would be no, I'm one with everything. I'm one with everything. I'm a brother to my sisters and the sisters to my brothers and whatever. that I am everything to everyone. Everyone is everything to me and you. So we can't limit God to form. Likewise, no delusion. So no delusion, my dears, of separation or finitude is imposed on those souls who have found their final liberation. No more delusion. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine yourself free? There's no delusion of separation or finitude is imposed on those souls who have found their final liberation. And the quickest, most surest way is to be a lover of love, is to be, constantly, unconditionally, undeviating devotion and love, which is by far the greatest choice you could ever make at any given time of the day, week, month, year, is that you just choose to be in a loving state, or let's say a loving kindness state. Don't you light up? Don't you find that your mood shifts when you greet someone, maybe a friend, unexpectedly, and you have a great little chat, good conversation? Doesn't your whole system light up? Yeah. Can you imagine that you have that ability at any time to choose a deity or a guru or a saint or divine mother or heavenly father to go to and just knock it out of the park? Yeah, just knock it out of the park. Because there's no separation or finitude is imposed on those souls who have found their final liberation. But because souls retain their individuality, they can reappear from the light of spirit as separate forms. But because souls retain their individuality, they can reappear from the light of spirit as separate forms. At the time when a soul is liberated and returns to God, the Lord and his ascended saints take individualized forms, and there's great rejoicing and festivity. So we can take our soul, once it's liberated, returns to God. The Lord and his ascended saints take individualized forms, and there is a party going on. There is a great rejoicing and festivity, a wondrous celebration in the supernal astral heaven of celestial beauty and bliss. So I know it's tough these days. I know it's so sad that all you want to do is cry. I know. And that's all part of this. But every now and then, just go to these higher realities, my dears, and see if you can really break out from the pack. Stay with the leaders of the race. And who are the leaders of the race? That's your higher self. That's your heart. That's your heart. And I did have something to share about the heart before we end. Because if you can go to this, and this is the next word Yogananda uses, in that paradise, where there's a wonder celebration, a supernal astral heaven of celestial beauty and bliss, in that paradise, if there were only the one light of undifferentiated spirit, there would be no, this is so cool. So you think, okay, if there's only one light of undifferentiated spirit, one spirit, there would be no guests, no food, and therefore no festivity. So don't worry about that, my dears. Everyone celebrates. Just as one beam of light from a movie projector passing through a film of individualized images can show a grand festivity of interacting characters on the screen, so in the heavenly celebrations, everything's made of light. God in a deity form, God in the angels, God in the devotees, you and me, all are made of the inconceivably subtle light of pure consciousness. The light of pure consciousness. The light of pure consciousness, differentiated by their own will into individualized forms. When the celebration concludes, we get to dissolve ourselves again into the ecstatic bliss of the undifferentiated oneness, merging into the one light, one spirit. I don't know about you, but I think we need a break today. I know that was a McDonald's commercial. You deserve a break today. Come on, Mac. Not what we're talking about. We need a good old-fashioned soul break from this prison house of ordinary existence. Yeah, we need to break away from ordinary existence into the finer, more colorful life of ever new joy, says Paramahansa Yogananda. Yeah, we need to really break away from that, my dears. And in some ways, you all being here sharing your light and love is doing exactly that. To some degree, to a great degree, to a little degree. But look at all of you. Ellen, Cami, Kathleen, Kelly, Lisa, Jim, Lynn, Narayan, Kara. Did I catch everybody? So let me just see if I can get in closing. It says the heart in the new world, the heart, your heart, your heart. Wow. She's beaten, right? She's moving some blood around, right? Is she feeling? How is she feeling your heart? How is your heart? Do you have a relationship with your heart, my dears? Let's see what this fellow says, John Roma. He said the heart is the new world. The heart is the new world. Really? He says most people think leaving a materialistic world means giving up money, success, or ambition. It doesn't. It means changing what you serve. I think we need to be more in service to this beautiful heart of us because it sings, it dances, it's super creative, it's super loving. It is dogs times trillions, my dears, of love pouring out into you. So we don't need to give up money, success, or ambition. A materialistic life is not about having things, it's about being controlled by them. All right? So your worth becomes, for those types of people who are controlled by this world, what you own, what others think, what you achieve, how you compare. Your nervous system is constantly scanning. Am I enough just as I am? And the answer is always not yet, because the system is designed that way. Living from the heart is not soft. It is radically sovereign. Radically sovereign. It's radical loving. It's radical attention of your mind, cloistering your mind. You know, the mind is a transmitter, but your heart is the carrier of that transmission. I'll say that again. Your mind is the transmitter of the idea or the thought, and love is the carrier. So if those thoughts want to bring you some magic and bring you some relief from the grief and a breakaway from the pack today, you need to have that love be a carrier of, or the heart be a carrier of love, because that's what you want to bring out into your everyday. That there's never a moment without love in your heart. Never, ever, never, ever. Living from the heart is not soft, it's radically sovereign. It means your center of gravity shifts from external validation to internal coherence. Internal coherence. That means the transmitter of the mind is going to send a message, a thought, and it's going to be picked up by love, not picked up by nervousness, not picked up by emotional upset, but picked up by pure, your heart's natural love for the reality as you perceive the reality today. So, internal coherence is what it's all about. So, start asking, what is true for me, even if it costs me approval? What's good for me? That's not selfishness. You know, Yogananda says that it's sacred selfishness to be thinking in those ways. Sacred selfishness versus the selfishness that I have a desire for something of this world. No, sacred selfishness, I have something that's really good for me, that I'm going to have this radical sovereignty over myself, which means over my heart space. And I'm going to make sure my heart is always dancing, singing, or resting in peace, is in acknowledging other people, is in loving and sending love to others and being kind to others and things like that. That keeps the heart amazingly powerful, my dears. So here's the deeper truth most miss. The mind seeks control, but the mind seeks control, that transmitter, but the heart seeks alignment. The heart's looking for it's going to be about love as the thought comes in, as I transmit some thoughts or think about the next thing. Is this going to bring love, more love? Is this going to bring more, contentment in my life? Does my heart seek alignment? The mind builds identity to usually the little self, and the heart dissolves the illusion of the little self. The mind survives, but the heart creates. When you live from the heart, you no longer chase things to feel whole. You create from wholeness. That changes everything. Just a little bit more, my dears, because now your work becomes an expression. Your cleaning in the house is an expression because there's joy and energy and love being just like this invisible energy that's passing around as you do your chores in the house. Money becomes a tool, not a master. Relationships become resonance, not transactions. Time becomes presence, not pressure. But here's the part no one tells you. The transition feels like death because you are losing the identity you built or survived, the approval you are addicted to, the certainty of the known. You will feel lost, exposed, misunderstood. This is not failure. This is deprogramming, my dears. You are not becoming someone new. You are removing everything that was never you. It even rhymes. You're removing everything that was never you. This isn't about becoming someone new because you're removing everything that was never new. The material world says, prove your value. You know what the heart says? You are the value. You are the value. You should see the holy ones that are around you right now, my dears. Just so talk about valuing. They don't even have a word for it. It's too magnificent, that world. So when that clicks, that you are the value, you stop performing life and start being it. This is the real shift from chasing the world to becoming a frequency the world responds to. So that's just a little kind of tag along line or way to end this, breakaway that we've had today, going into through Yogananda's consciousness into the inner world and just musing. See, if you want to train your mind to not be restless and train your mind not to have negative thoughts and train your mind, the best way is to create from your heart space something beautiful. Whether it's created or not doesn't matter because you just heard what that inner world is all about. It is beyond sci-fi. It's divine-fi. It's soul-fi, my dears. So anything and everything goes. You're a free bird. You're a free bird. So enjoy so much this day, and let's don't be shy to feel each other as we go about our day. As you remember back on this little stream this morning, I know a day can go by like that, right? And we get caught up, might not even remember what we talked about this morning, but that's okay because you felt something. That which you feel automatically goes into your heart of love and it mixes together. And pretty soon you have a magic potion of love with remembrance, love and remembrance dancing together. Victory to love, victory to remembrance. All right. So you want to rub your hands together and let's chant some ohms and just feel like everything is just as if right this breath with this rubbing of our hands, everything is absolutely in place for me. Inhale the breath. Let's chant an om. Oh, 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 Let's do another, my dears. Let's just feel so good. Let's just feel so good. I'm feeling so good. I'm joy vibrations. I'm feeling so good because I am Om. Let's chant it. Oh. So we have God glasses on. Just acknowledge the fact of how much you are a lover, not a fighter, said Michael Jackson. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So we love and we care because that's the only thing that is born from love is caring. And then, of course, one other thing, we share. We love, we care, we share. It's like the Holy Trinity. We love, we care, we share. Ellen, it's nice to have you part of the oneness clan here. The ones whose just hearts just melt together when we come together. Don't you feel that kind of? People you haven't even saw or see before, you wouldn't recognize them. But here they are, emitting soul vibes to each of us and into our world. Wow. I'm telling you, we're one powerful group, my dears. So let's do you have anything to share? I'm just gonna turn on my volume in case there's somebody that wants to share a little something. Other than that, we can sign off and fly out of the cage, break out. I think it was Yogananda, and he said, yeah, break out from the choking monotony of ordinary existence. So step out from the choking monotony of ordinary existence into the finer, more colorful light of achievement and heartfelt love. Yeah. So that's kind of the idea. Let's break away from the ordinary the monotony of ordinary existence into the finer worlds, my dears, the finer, higher world. All right, which is right here, right now, as you and me. Wow, nice to see you again, oh Spirit, in you, Kathleen, in you, Tara, in you, Narayan, in you, Marty, and anyone else that's on, the Clarks. Yeah, it's lovely to see Spirit as you. Yeah, change the whole thing right there. See you as Spirit. You have one, we have one focus, heart-centered focus that we see, we love, we care, and we share. Love you. See you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday, everybody.